I don't give a shit about that. This proves it once again that you don't know shit. So listen. No, he didn't. I was nowhere near there. It was no. Ah, geez. I don't give a shit about that. This proves it once again that you don't know shit. So listen. No, he didn't. I was nowhere near there. It was no. Ah, geez. I don't give a shit about that. This proves it once again that you don't know shit. So listen. did know it was nowhere near there. It was no. Ah, geez. I don't give a shit about that. This proves it once again that you don't know shit. So listen. No, he did know it was nowhere near there. It was no. Ah, geez. Hi guys, and welcome back to another Boxing Bantz episode with me and my good pal Max, the Viking page. How you doing, buddy?
Yes, mate. I'm all sweet. I'm all tucked up in my little house, all nice and cosy.
You won't be tucked up there this weekend. This time next week, you'll be down the fishing lake freezing your tadger off.
Yeah, mate. I don't mind. I've been a digger.
You and Kirk will be fighting over it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us, and we also like to thank being proudly in association with Cornbread, who are gladly sponsoring our show. If you are interested in sponsoring, just please go to fighterstalktv.com and click the advertise here button and fill your details in. Why not? Anyway, just want to get started. There's been some great fight results over the weekend for Conor Benn and, of course, Adam Azim and everyone else in the Boatsi Aziz fight. It was a fantastic fight.
And all four Essex boys won.
They did indeed, and some under controversial circumstances, and there's been a lot of people having a lot to say. So if you have got something to say, you want to say something, you hit us up on any of the chat. We are live on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, 2 YouTube channels, and a partridge in a pear tree. Oh yeah, and don't forget X. So yeah. And guys, we don't know how the hell to use X. So we just know it's streaming because it said it was. So so any guys got a clue how we can get our Instagram to look better than it does, let us know. But if you are joining, please don't forget to say your name and whatever your opinion counts. So I think the best thing to do, we did have sometimes we have a slight outage, which we just heard we had, but it's gone back on. The best thing to do, let's get the elephant in the room out straight away. There's been a lot of goings on between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, obviously the big letdown in the fight being cancelled and hopefully being scheduled for May the 18th. Carl Froch is weighed in, as usual. And George Groves, his old dancing partner, he's weighed in as well. I think everyone and his dog has weighed in. Eddie Hearn.
Oh, mate, it's been relentless. As all weekend, it's this one thing after another. You know, I was just listening to an Eddie Hearn interview when some people were commenting saying that Tyson had the doctor to cut his eye on purpose. He said, what a ridiculous claim there. It's like one of the biggest fights in history for the most amount of money Tyson's going to be earning. Why on earth would he cut himself?
And then,
you know
of course,
I mean?
There's some controversy over the cut being over the left eye, then apparently it's over the right eye. So,
yeah,
I want to put that controversy to
mirroring,
rest. Here we go, right? Where's your Fighters Talk TV cap? You got it on your desk?
Yeah.
All right, watch this, guys. Here's the reason. So Max is the right way round because we're doing this on Skype. And, of course, on his screen, I am the right way round and he is the wrong way round. So it's just reverse image. It is actually the correct eye that's damaged. So let's put that one to bed. And I think Eddie Hearn's right. Why would Tyson Fury, the biggest fight of his life, actually cut his own eye? Well, there's been lots of leaked footage. Obviously, some say it was an elbow. Actually, some say it was a legitimate punch. Either way, he split the eye open. The fight isn't going to happen on February 17th. And the only one saving grace in all that, I didn't book the flight. So thank you, Matt Rich, for not getting back to me. Because you just saved me a few quid.
I did a ridiculous thing where the sparring partner, Tyson, should sue him. I was like...
What for?
Yeah, because he got cut. I went, wait a minute. It's not like he just grabbed him around the head and went, bosh, have some of that, is it? The sparring.
It's like it's a tickling competition. No, this is sparring. This is what's happened. The guy didn't hit him with the cheap elbow. If the video footage is correct, he did not hit him with a cheap elbow. You know, at worst, it was accidental when it came through on the side and caught him.
Well, the video we've been watching, Tyson's actually got him round the head like that, hitting him, and he's hitting him back, and he just caught him. You know.
Do you know what? In those certain circumstances, and you've got your head buried down in Tyson's chest, you're trying to fight your way out. You know, it's perfectly legitimate. Perfectly legitimate. I don't think for 1 minute that he should be sued for that. I mean, or you'd get nobody sparring nobody.
No,
you know?
definitely not.
Don't forget, we are interested in your opinions, guys. Hit us up in the messages. Tell us what you think. Did Tyson Fury quit on purpose? Did he get a doctor to open up his eye just so he could pull out the fight? Did he fake it? And is his attack of Alex Krasuk and his attack, of course, obviously, of Usyk? And he said, don't you ever call me a coward. You refer to my wife as a biatch again. And I'll come over and slap you straight. I think he took
it's Usyk's trainer, isn't it? He said, listen, I never called your wife that. You must have misunderstood me. Then Tyson did that and say, well, I thought you said that. And it sort of half calmed down a little bit. And then it all kicked off again. You called me a coward.
Listen, you can't call that man a coward. He spent the whole of his life fighting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not a Tyson lover. And I'm not going to take my tongue out of his butthole. But I'm just sort of saying... At the end of the day, a man who's had 35 professional fights, a man who's been in the ring, been down so many times, he didn't fight once, didn't fight twice, but 3 times to the most dangerous puncher in the world. I mean, let's be honest, who would you rather take a punch off, Usyk or Wilder?
I'd rather be Usyk.
Yeah, so would I. Every day of the week and 3 times on Sunday. And today is Sunday, so Alexander, give me a shout. And... I just think at the end of the day, it's a little bit wrong. I mean, even Carl Froch went on Sky Sports yesterday and was saying, well, if it's real, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he is that what they say? It's like a date they've plucked out of the air. It's, just to sort of calm the storm sort of thing. He said, who knows what's going to happen with Tyson? Like, is the cut going to heal properly? You know, is he going to be ready still? Who knows? Because he could get infection in the eye. Could postpone it again, but
his old sparring partner and his old cohort and dancing partner, in the ring, Groves, right? He went up and said, well, look, it's only going to take 4 or 5 weeks to heal. At best, at worst case scenario, it'll have to stitch it out in 5 days. He could still train. Yeah, you can. You can still train. It's very difficult to know how you're going to spar because you're going to have like 4 weeks of sparring. Normally, in a professional fight, they stop sparring about a week before. Now, 2 weeks before, he's obviously still sparring, which is perfectly normal. Having the open face guard, I mean, there's always going to be loads of criticism. What is he supposed to do? Wrap a bandage around his head?
Yeah, that's it. Listen, he's probably saying he's done all his fighting career, wore the same head guard, and this time it's unlucky. He got caught and he's opened him up.
Well, the other thing, of course, you got David Haye saying, well, he did that to me on our fight. Now, I prayed that it would happen to him. However, he didn't realise it would happen on this thing. And let's face it, I mean, I love David Haye. He's been a great athlete and fantastic ambassador of the sport. Okay, he's had a couple of wibbly bits. Smashing a bottle over Derek Chisora's head probably wasn't one of his finest moments.
No, it wasn't wise, was it? No.
wasn't that sort of thing. But one of the things I would say is David Haye has a curse in boxing. Okay, an absolute curse in boxing. Every time he picks a fighter, they always lose. And he really does. And this time, he's laid the Haye curse again. What do you think, guys? The Haye curse strikes again. David, if you see this video, much love to your pal, but you're cursed. Do you know what? I would make him, if he ever attends a press conference that we attend, he can carry a white rabbit's leg, with a black cat on a broken mirror under a ladder. That's right. Just because, I mean, it's just that bad. It is that bad.
Yeah. Right, let's just want to change the subject. Let's get it off Tyson. We can always come back to him because there's always plenty to say about him. Adam Azim, a lot of criticism over his win and the way he celebrated.
No, I saw your reply because somebody said that was in poor taste, and Max, by the way, him, not me. Right back to him.
Yeah, I did write back. I went, listen, that's how he celebrates. Win's a win at the end of the day. It's not his fault. His opponent's shoulder popped out and he couldn't continue. And his signature celebration is a backflip. So why shouldn't he carry on doing that?
No, I totally agree. I think at the end of the day, he has won that fight. I think he was winning that fight. I don't think there was any sort of
no doubt, and he was winning the fight.
And I've met Adam. I was with Adam at Shane McGuigan's gym, in London. Fantastic chap, really, really nice guy. Did a couple of bits for us for that young lad we were trying to help out for, over in Leeds. Really, really nice guy, and he'd done some sparring with a good friend of ours, Ahmed Hatim. Ahmed was there last night with his manager Mickey Moo. Nice guys, friends of the show. I think he did rather well. See, Max comes from the school smash their teeth down the back of their throat. I come from the school like a good boxing competition.
Yeah, well, that's why we get on so well. We've got two different looks on the boxing.
Yeah, definitely. And there were some great shows on last night. So let's talk about the Las Vegas shows and a few fights that were on there. And I'm going to start with young Jimmy Sains. Now, we met with Jimmy in Birmingham. Fantastic little fighter. He's really, really, really got the minwalls, hasn't he, this one?
Oh, yeah. Listen, he had a good amateur. I believe he was in Team GB.
Yeah, 4 national titles as well.
Yeah, and listen, that is a young man who's up and coming, who will go far under the right guidance. And as you see on Saturday, the first round, he just absolutely smashed the geezer.
Well, that's it. I mean, we all want to see good and powerful knockouts, but he did look much bigger than his opponent. And actually, it was a fantastic fight, I have to say. Especially in the light that Jimmy gave him a right dig. And when we met up with Jimmy, was it Newcastle or Liverpool we were at? One of the
I think it was Newcastle.
It was Newcastle, yeah. So when we were with Jimmy in Newcastle, really nice kid. You couldn't wish for a better young ambassador in boxing. Do you know what I mean? A really good kid he was. And he did rather well.
Yeah, and his mate George Lillard, who was out in Vegas at the weekend. Again, was he gone 6-0 now?
Yeah, he is. I mean, do you know what? I like George as well because George, we've met him a couple of times. Really nice kid. There's some great stars coming in from GB. There's some great stars coming into boxing. Youngsters, the likes of Jimmy, George, obviously Tom Welland, and a few others that are really going to set this sport on fire. And obviously you've got. You can talk about Conor Benn like he's old hat, but he's not. He's still only in his mid-20s. So we've got some great stars that are coming through, especially UK boxing.
A lot of good talent coming up. Over the next few years, we're going to see some fantastic young men and women coming up.
So let's
You know
go.
what I
Let's
mean?
carry on talking about George. So George come out with his Elvis Presley sort of motif. It was his homage, shall we say, to the King,
Yeah.
and he put on quite a good display. I think the only thing I would say, I just don't want him to get too disparaged by the fact he hasn't got. His first few fights, it was all quick knockouts. On the second few fights, or the last few of the six, he's been taking the distance. But you know what? He was displaying some great control in there. He won every single round. He knew exactly what he was doing. Great trainer in his corner as well.
But it's also proving that he can go the distance. He has got it in him to do these extra rounds.
And he's got a good chin.
He's been chin tested a few times, and he can take it. He can give a good dig, and he can take one.
Yeah, I just don't want him. But then if I look, don't want to really criticise Eddie Hearn per se. But do you think they're rushing him up the levels a little bit too much rather than building his confidence? Or do you think
I think he's sort of half been thrown in the deep end. Only half, But I think he's a man who can take the test. I think old Lillard, he can handle it, and which he's proved and he's shown. I think he needs a few more. I think a few more fights what he's getting, and then take it up another gear.
Yeah, so I think he's got a couple of good 6-rounders under his belt. We get a few more, I think, and then we go on to bigger things.
Well, I think by the sort of end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him in a late rounder. But at the end of the year, depending how well it goes.
Don't forget, guys, we are live around the world on 2 YouTube channels: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, whatever else. Well, all these other social media. If you do want to join in, hit us up with a question. Just write it in a message in the live chat feed, and I will read it out here live on air for the hundreds of people that are around the world not listening and just laughing at stupid shit we say. Right, okay, so let's move on to the card, move up the card, and Johnny Fisher. Once again, the old Romford Ball out there giving it bosh, telling everyone he's going to eat the place out of Chinese and drink a load of beer after the first round destruction of his opponent.
Listen, and it was his first, was it his US debut and all, wasn't it?
Yeah, as was George and, of course, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great show.
A first round demolition. I would like to see him sort of tested a bit more, because I thought his last fight, when he won the belt, is it the English belt he won?
He did, yeah.
That when he had that fight, I thought, he's going to get tested. But
I think his opponent, actually, but yeah.
His opponent was tough. I think he needs a couple more like that, and then sort of up it a little bit. Because we said when we was in London the other week for the Magnificent Seven, is it Soul Decrees? He's another British champion.
Soul Dakers, young man, Soul Dakers.
That's it. We said then that'll be a good fight, him and Johnny Fisher.
Well, do you know what? I talked to you about that, but my argument would be, is that a little step too far for him right now? I mean, I don't believe it is. I believe he'll.
Well, I think if Johnny goes out in the next, say, 3 months as another fight, and then by the end of the year, they rock it out.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, there's also, you're a big fan of Moses Atuma, I know.
Yeah.
I
think he's a brilliant fighter.
Well, that's it. And I think that you've got, there's some great heavyweight fighters coming through, both in the US and in the UK. But Eddie Hearn really does speak highly of Johnny Fisher. Not just for his boxing ability, but for the ability of making him a few quid.
Yeah. Listen, he's a crowd puller.
He's dragging his mates all the way to Vegas.
The Romford Ball Army, they go everywhere.
Absolutely, and I think it was a great sport. And of course, them lending their voice to the other Essex fighters in the arena. There is some, but I want to talk about Conor Benn. Moving on to Conor Benn, but before we go into the success of the fight, let's just it did rear its ugly head again. There's been a lot of conversation going on live around the world, and when there's been a lot of discussion about the fact that Conor Benn is not able to fight into the United Kingdom right now. That is very much on his desire, and I don't want it to overshadow Conor's performance last night, but it is a talking point and there's a lot of people discussing it. The fact of the matter is, just for those who don't know, Conor Benn failed a drug test a couple of years back and has been fighting it ever since at his own personal cost. It wasn't his fault. It's not responsible for it, and he shouldn't be suspended. He tore up his British Boxing Board of Control license. He went and got licensed in Las Vegas this time, in Nevada, and I think California previously to that, and was asked for permission to box and was frankly denied by the British Boxing Board of Control because he failed a drugs test.
Yeah, so, because we're getting mixed messages, weren't we? We're getting told by Eddie he's been cleared, he can fight. Then you hear other people go, no, that's not true. So I think we've all got to keep our opinions to ourselves until it's happened.
Well, I think you can't argue with the facts, okay? And that the facts are the case that do I believe that Conor is guilty of cheating? No, I don't.
No,
right?
But we got to think of
right.
Because UCAD found nothing.
No, UCAD found nothing and VADA found it. Yeah,
but when he paid for a test himself, they found something, which I find a bit strangely odd.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, this thing will rear its ugly head until it's finally put to bed. And I think when I next see Conor, I'm going to give him some of my words of wisdom, as in don't reply to everyone on social media, because not everyone is your friend, and everyone is always going to sit there and slate you to the ground. And I don't believe, guys, I honestly don't believe that people actually deserve it, because you know what, guys, this man was broken. It really was broken. When we talked to him before he come back for his fights, we met him in the basement of TW1. So if anyone doesn't know who that is, it's a great boxing gym over in Ongar, run by a good friend of mine, Bill the Wild One Whitrod. And if you do fancy learning and fighting, go and see Bill. He'll help you out, especially if you live in Essex down there in Ongar. And you've seen Nigel and Conor and a few other guys down there occasionally. So we met him down there. We had some really good... And the man is I would tell you, is an honest and upstart young man, right? I mean, there's no way do I believe he deliberately failed a drugs test. That's just not who this kid is. It's not who this kid is, right? For all those of you who have just lost us on Instagram, I do apologise, but we're off the air, and I'm very sorry about that. So this isn't who this kid is, right? It really, really isn't who this kid is. But what I would say to you is that at the end of the day, all we can do is just hope that it resolutes itself. So let's get that nonsense out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's go straight up. Let's go straight back to the fight. Straight back to the fight.
After the fight.
Right.
Lot of back and forth with Bill Haney and Devin Haney.
Yeah.
Mate, I don't think they're gonna be mocking it at Devin Haney or Conor.
Why is that?
But I don't know. I've just got a feeling it's not gonna happen. But there is talks of Devontae Davis chatting with Eddie about getting a fight with Conor.
Okay, so let's analyse Conor's performance last night. So Conor went in there. He wanted to blast the geezer out in 2-3 rounds. That didn't happen, right?
No, listen, give full kudos to Pete Dobson. He
did play right. But the thing is, Conor was winning. There was no doubt in my mind Conor was winning. I did have some concerns, if I'm honest, after the fight. I did have some real big concerns. One of my biggest concerns was he was too easy to hit. Right, and anyone with some real power is going to give him some trouble. Yeah. We talked to another.
He's screaming down the phone, lift your hands up, move your head. It's not illegal.
I was like, come on, Con, you can do so much better than this. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, really? And I just, for me, I just sit there and think, oh, mate, Con, you can do better. But, I think that if he gets in with Devin Haney, if he does not learn, or whoever, even Pat McCormick would be a real handful for him right now. I think that you've got, his defence needs to improve. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not one to sit there and say, Conor's back. Conor is an exceptional fighter, world level. But when you start fighting,
very ferocious, vicious.
Absolutely. But that was one of the criticisms. Where's Conor's power? Okay, and obviously we're not going to read out some of the nasty quotes that were actually said. No. Where's Conor's power? That was one of the things that they actually said, right?
Yeah, well, I did hit back on one of them. I said, yeah, he's saving it for Devon Haney.
Well, that's it. I mean, but the problem is you come into levels in this sport, right? So levels in this sport are, where's Connor's power and where's his defence? Because it was very clear. His engine is amazing, absolutely amazing. He had it there, but his defence, literally yesterday, I was really quite concerned because listen, if he got put down, if he got put down, that would have damaged his stock immensely. I love Conor Benn. I think he's great for boxing. I think as soon as we can get this nonsense cleared up with the British Boxing, I do apologise, it's not nonsense, but as soon as we can get all this mess cleared up with the British Boxing Board of Control, the better off the world will be. I have to say, and back to something where he can take his mind off it. But on that note, we'll move off from Conor Benn. We'll move over to what was going on in the UK last night. But I do want to wish Conor Benn's twin sister a very happy marriage. I know they're heading there tomorrow. And Nigel will be a very proud father of that, I am sure. Okay, so let's talk about... We've done the Las Vegas thing. So let's go moving all the way over. We're over into London for the Joshua Barazzi, Dan Aziz main event last night. And you were watching this one quite closely. Yeah,
I was. I watched the... Let's start off with Caroline Dubois.
Oh, what a beast she is. Now, I had the fortunate pass to actually have a chat with her over there at Shane McGuigan's, another one in his stable. And she is a lovely young lady, I have to say. Really lovely young lady. And she is possibly going to be one of the greatest of all times in female boxing. Already a world champion.
Yes. Yeah, listen, boxing last night was on point. It was, you know what I mean? Every shot was hitting the target. It wasn't rushed. It was very accurate, on point. And I just felt sorry for her opponent. Just every time.
Well, she did rock her a few times, didn't she?
Yeah, well, you're going to get a few lucky ones here and there. But Caroline, every punch was like, boss, have some of that. You know what I mean? It's like, remind me of Tyson Fury's story, like double jab left hook.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and obviously that went the distance, but that was a fully deserved win for Caroline.
It was fantastic win. I mean, there's a lot of people sort of speculating on that one as well. About what should and shouldn't happen. But the world is all full of speculation, guys. And as Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan till you get punched in the face.
Yes.
So that's pretty much it. It's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Who's next on your hit
list?
I want
to talk about the Ben Whittaker fight.
Well, I tell you, I want to have a chirp in with that, right? Okay. Listen, this sport of mine, or ours, or everybody who loves it. Okay. Now a lot of people have a lot of criticism of someone like Ben Whittaker because of his behaviour. So stop turning around.
The showboating. There's no need for it.
No, absolutely.
We've seen it with our own eyes. Showboating going wrong.
Well, let me tell you what. There's two particular cases I want to point out when showboating goes wrong. Numero uno, without any shadow of doubt, Prince Nassim Hamed versus Marco Antonio Barrera. That is the fight where it all fell apart for Naz. So when Naz lost that fight, he never came back to boxing. He came back for one fight. He was taken a distance, and we never ever saw him again.
No.
That's when it went wrong. And, do I think the same thing can happen to Ben Whittaker? Well, anything can happen. This is boxing. I don't like the showboating, especially when you turn your back on your opponent, because you're actually humiliating a man who's got in the ring to face you, who's had the minerals to stand up and say, listen, I reckon I've got a shot. Maybe a shot, 1 in a million, but I still got a shot.
Yeah, listen, that's showboating. I think it's disrespectful towards the other opponent. And also, if his opponent was like a killer boxer, all that showboating, it would have got absolutely destroyed.
Well, when you start stepping up in class, I dare say that will stop because nobody wants an L on their record, especially if it's because you put your hands down, stick your chin in the air, go and hit me, and they catch you with the other hand, take your head off.
Yeah, but yeah, that I'm not taking it away from Ben Whittaker. He is a good boxer.
He's a
But
great boxer, isn't he? Yeah.
for me, I feel like he let yourself down by doing that showboating. I don't know if he's doing it because all his mates were there, or that's just how he is.
Well,
But
I don't know. I mean, I would, I am not doubting this kid's boxing ability. He's absolutely amazing, and I think he'll go on to massive world honours. I really do. I would like to see him tone that, I have to say, down a bit. But when we want to bring the other guy up, is Mohammed? Was that his name? Who went out there and thought he was a clone of Naz and got sparked. I mean, he would be the first to tell you.
Like a 10-minute walking and all that, all this dancing, all like this. They just got have some of that.
Stuck like hanging straight up his beak, and down he went like a sack.
Oh, it's hilarious.
So Ben Whittaker, fantastic win. It was a great stoppage in the end, and I think he'll go on to massive kudos things for him, and big kudos to just probably tone down the showboating. I mean, lots of people might have loved it, but when you turn your back on a fighter, you just wish at that point. It's like when Francis Ngannou did the Superman punch. I just wish that someone sticks something on their chin, because that's the only way you're going to learn in this business, right? By someone bashing you up. Anyway, who's next?
We've already spoke about Adam
Azim.
Yeah, Azim. Let's go to the main event. Buatsi and Dan Aziz. Right. Brilliant fight. I thought that was a brilliant fight from start to finish.
Absolutely.
But obviously Buatsi just pulled away, from like the 7th round onwards. Just started pulling away, landing the shots. But Dan Aziz, he kept losing his footing, falling down and all that. And that's probably what got into his head a little bit.
Especially towards the end of the fight. That was kind of...
the last 2 rounds now, I think he probably did get a knockdown, Buatsi, but I think it was more frustration that Dan Aziz was trying. But he's got that old style boxing, like, was it old Marvin Hagler, wasn't it?
You said that about his shorts, and I was like, that's going back to 80s school. It's getting back to 80s, isn't it?
That's but because he said that, because I've watched it before, and he said about it, like, he styled himself on Marvin Hagler, all like close in like that. But I don't think it's the right style to beat Buatsi with.
Well, I mean, they say styles make fights. They were very, very good friends. They've been very good friends for many, many years, and I think it showed as well, didn't it?
Yeah, listen, they were friends. Then obviously the build up to the fight, they've sort of become enemies. But once the fight happened, you thought they was brothers. I mean, a lot of respect towards each other at the end, which I thought was brilliant. Like cuddling him, putting his arm in the air and that, photos. I thought it was good.
The more you hate one another, the more money you make together. The more money you make together, the more you love one another, right? Okay, so, Carl Froch and George Groves will tell you that one. I remember many arguments between them. Mind you, Carl Froch argues. I do wonder sometimes, recently in the last few weeks, if Carl Froch has got any mirrors in his house, because he calls an argument with himself as he walks past. But, he does like to have his show. But I have to say, that being said, and he'll probably tell me to go do one next time we see him, it has to be said, I think he's right on a lot of what he's saying. I think when John Fury sticks it on him, so they talk about things like John Fury in this sort of stuff. And if it wasn't good entertainment, I guess we wouldn't be talking about it. And do apologise, guys, if you keep seeing me turn around. It's because there's people talking to us all over the world on all of our social media. I think if he makes good TV, people are going to talk about him. And he does say some really, really controversial things.
Yeah. But anyway, just going back to Buatsi.
We're going to move back to Buatsi now. Yeah.
This morning, there was talks of him facing, like, he wants to face Bivol.
Really?
Right, yeah. And I just said to you earlier, I went, no. I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready for Bivol.
Well, I guess it's all about, you call everybody out, you have a say, and, I want to face this guy, I want to face that guy. And, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a great idea at all.
Yeah, not yet. I don't think he should face him yet.
Oh, guys, if you are having problems hearing me, it's because I didn't bring my microphone over. Look at that. You might be able to hear me now with the famous FTTV boxing microphone.
Oh, I could hear you all right.
Oh, you could hear me. Oh, well, that's all right. As long as you can hear me, that's totally
Yeah,
fine.
that's it.
Our producer will be going, right, what are you two fools playing at? Mind you, they say that to us every single day.
Well,
can we talk about John Fury now? Or...
No, not yet. I'm just looking here. There's, come out 2 hours ago, Joshua Barazzi versus Ben Whittaker.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think that would stop Ben Whittaker from showboating.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Get a smack up the ear roll, I think. I think that's probably about right. If you guys have an opinion, let me know. Do you think it would stop Ben Whittaker from dancing around like a fairy? Mind you, he wasn't like a fairy as such, but do you know what I mean? It's like Tinkerbell. Yeah. Spinning like hoops and stuff. Just waiting for him to start singing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. Yeah, well, that'd be a good matchup.
I'm just looking here. Look, dude's nice, but he thinks he's the next Prince Nassim. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Listen, there'll be no other fighter other than Naz, right? Naz is the original. Fortunate enough to spend time with him over in Poland. And when we're talking about his son, do you think he'd be as great as dad? Oh, listen, man, no one's going to be as great as his dad.
Yeah.
Didn't pick up his son at all.
He's only one of me.
It's like, you get back down there, boy, I'll feed you, I'll slap you up. That's basically what it was. But Naz has absolute bragging rights. Look at what he achieved. A fantastic fighter and a great ambassador for boxing all over the world. So now can we talk about a couple of things?
Yes, mate.
You sure? Right. Okay. So during obviously the London event that was on yesterday, big Fraser Clark and of course Fabio Wardley. The fight is announced for a few titles. That's going to be absolutely great. I'm looking forward to that. What do you think? I mean,
listen, I'm excited for this fight. This is going to be a war, I think.
Especially after Fabio's last fight and Fraser Clark, who fought over in Saudi, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think this is going to be a war. I think there's general hate for each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can see it. I'm surprised it didn't go off last night.
Well, we released the news really, really quickly. Thanks very much to our production team. And, of course, big Fraser Clark and Fabio actually shared it. So thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate that. And a couple of other posts. So if you do like our posts, it's great. We really love you for it. Now, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, smash that buttons, notifications, all the other good jazz that they all keep saying.
Yeah, well, this is going to be held 31st of March on a Sunday.
Well, that's interesting because it's Easter Sunday.
I know.
Lord says it's supposed to be a break. Someone's getting their face caved in. That's what's going to happen on that one.
At the O2 London.
Go on then, give me a prediction. Give me a prediction.
Well, I like both of them. Now you put me on the spot.
Yeah?
Right. I'm going to go Fabio Wardley.
Oh! Hey, Fraser, him, not me.
Yeah.
Not me. I'll tell you what.
I'll speak tomorrow. I'll say you.
Do you know what? It's such a tough fight to call.
It is a tough one. Why did you ask me first?
Because it's better to ask you, because if you get it wrong, I'll laugh. Just like to say, massive shout out to Max's nephew, Ted, who's just joined us on Insta. Hi, Ted.
What's happening, Ted?
Well, he says he's busy.
Yeah. Woke me up at 1 o'clock this morning.
What, Ted did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were telling me.
Some random text.
That's it, Ted. You make sure he gets up. Don't let him lie in.
Yeah,
Once again, if you do want to have your say, just let us
go back to sleep.
Well, we would hate for you to have a lie in, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So I want to talk about John Fury. Okay, I do want to talk about John Fury because I think it was you, Max, reached out to John Fury, asked him if we could do an interview with him, talking about obviously Tyson and talking about himself and what he's planning to do. Obviously, we know Big Joe Egan, which is Mike Tyson's Irish sparring partner, big tough man, has called him out. He says the biggest, the hardest punching ever 58-year-old. I do believe John Fury said he was. So of course Joe Egan calls him out. Then, and we haven't heard anything about that fight. I don't think that potential.
No, I think it's gone. I think it's just gone on deaf ears. That has.
Well, I don't know if it's gone on deaf ears. I think the problem is nobody wants to put it on. I think His Excellency Turki Alashek said that he's not interested in any of this mixed fits YouTube boxing nonsense. He just wants the proper fights. And I wonder if this was something about that. I mean, John Fury's been, he's got my heart, this guy, right? Because he does wear his heart on his sleeve. Very, very proud man. Grown up the travel away, and a few of us know what that's like. And you know what I mean? Grew up really tough. And I think that he's loyal to his family, and that you cannot blame this guy on. You cannot really blame him about. He's very, very good, I think, for the entertainment aspects of the sport, even if he does say some stupid things from time to time.
Yeah, but listen, mate, he's a granddad now. He's 58. He's got to stop fighting. Chill out.
Well, that's it. I think I stopped fighting when I was like 20.
Listen, you got sons and nephews all capable of fighting for you. Let them do the fighting, and you just sit back.
Yeah, that's it. Sons, nephews, and grandchildren that will grow into some really some good little fighters, especially with Tyson as their dad, and also a few of the other boys have got kids, haven't they? Do you know what? Though? I just think that at the end of the day, he has been good, I think, for boxing. He's certainly brought an awful lot of entertainment to the ring. But also there has been some points that have made me sort of pretty disappointed with some of the things he says. And sometimes I don't think that he thinks before he speaks, especially when it comes down to Carl Froch. I mean, there's one thing to say. I think he winds Eddie up and says some things about Eddie, and Eddie would just tell you straight. He said, listen, what can I do to him? I can't do anything. And then he goes on about KSI, and KSI says we were there. KSI told me he was going to slap his tits, right? We put that out, right? And then, of course, you go... And then you go to the next level.
Say? What about the Jaw say about him? When
you just sue him. Yeah,
you can't punch Eddie Hearn.
Well,
as a businessman, he just sue you.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you won't even own the caravan if you do things like that. But I think when you sit there and look at the whole thing, Carl Froch is a different animal. Okay, Carl Froch, even though he's retired, will go, yeah. Wait till I see you, I'm going to slap you. Carl Froch will get in his face, like, nose don't be like that. Murray, what do you say about me? Yeah, that's what I thought. And it won't. And let me tell you, it won't be the three little bears who get a double jab left hook. Because as big as John Fury is, Carl Froch will fight back. I mean, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about that, because that is just his nature, right? So if you ever get to meet Carl, really, really nice guy. Doesn't have time for idiots, right? I will put that out there. So don't be a knobhead in front of him. He is a nice guy, but don't remember he's got a life too. I think is probably fair to say. But to be fair to Carl, I think standing up and saying, "Listen, right, don't be threatening me, or it'll be." I mean, he ain't scared, this geezer. So no.
He's got some cojones.
Yeah, that's it. And those are, and if you sum up the John Fury experience in the last couple of weeks, the big Joe Egan thing and Carl Froch, someone may say, or some might say, has he bitten off more than
he can chew?
And I think
especially Mike Tyson sent a video out. Hey, John boy, you've upset my friend.
Yeah. He's coming out to you. He's coming out to you. Yes, he isn't happy, and I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's any love lost there. I just think that Joe Egan's offered him out, hasn't he? It's a kind of a one. Who would you like to be hit less by? And I don't think I want to be hit by either of them, if I'm perfectly honest.
Not particularly, but if I had to choose someone out of Egan and Fury, I think I'll be hit by Tommy.
Yeah. Tommy Fury, please come over here. Needed to punch up Max. Hi, Stacey P44. Nice to see you. Welcome to What We're Doing. Anyway, so I think that we have been on the air for nearly an hour, pal. And, just before we go, let's have a little look about what is coming up this current week. I'd just like to thank Matchroom and Queensby for scheduling an event on the same night. Unfortunately, I am a big guy, but splitting myself down the middle to be at two shows is going to be rather difficult. So on Thursday, you've got Lopez versus Ortiz over there in the Ultra Arena in Las Vegas. That's going to be a pretty good fight. Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz for the WBO and Ring Magazine Super Lightweight titles. Going to be a close fight, that. I'm going for Teofimo Lopez.
Now, have you heard about Daniel Dubois? He's got a fight, been ordered to fight for the title. Anthony Joshua rejected.
What?
Apparently so, yeah.
Never heard of that. Never heard. Has anyone else heard that?
Well, I'm just reading it now.
No, I'm not denying you are, but I'm just...
Yeah, look, Daniel Dubois ordered to fight for the title. Anthony Joshua rejected.
Yeah, but it's not going to be a world title.
No, it's for something.
Nice.
I won't.
As you can see, we always do our research, boys and girls, before we come on the show.
Yeah, no, he's just popped up. I wasn't even going to talk about Daniel, but I just see that and I thought, oh.
Last time I heard, Daniel was over in Grenada training. Lucky for some.
Oh, well, he's been ordered by the EBU.
Oh, right, okay, that's fine. That's sort of...
For the vacant European heavyweight title.
Perfect. I'm sure he'll really bend over backwards to that when he just fought for the world title against Alexander Usyk over there in Poland.
And lost.
And did lose. But at least he'd give it a go. And he's very, very young. He's still low 20s. Okay, yes. Also, Saturday night, Dillon versus Bellotte. That's going to be Liam Dillon versus Reeve Bellotte for the British Commonwealth Super and Featherweight titles. And Shannon Ryan is also on the bill, so that's going to be good to see. Cameron Vong, who we saw, very, very hot prospect, young talent. He's also going to be fighting. John Hedges versus Erdogan Kajura. I do apologise for not saying it. Of course, Maisie Rose Courtney. She's going to be fighting on that.
She's a local Essex girl.
She is. Khalid Majid, he's on that fight. Another good little fight. And Ibrahim Suleiman, if he doesn't turn up late. Because remember, for the last press conference, he was late. So make sure, Ibrahim, you turn up on time. And Jack Oliphant will be making his Matchroom debut on that Next Gen show. Also, of course, on the same night, Queensbury have got a fight going on at the Copper Box Arena in London. Hamza Shiraz will be taking on Liam Williams for the WBC Silver and Commonwealth Middleweight titles. Sam Noakes is on the bill as well versus Luis Sylvester. And last time we did see Luis Sylvester, it was on a Matchroom show where he beat Adam Cope, very controversially.
Yeah, well,
so it's going to be interesting.
I thought he lost that.
I did as well. I think Cope was very hard done by. But that's for the Commonwealth and WBC International Silver Lightweight titles. Also with Masood Abdullah and Quas Ashfaq on the bill. Anthony Yard is on the bill versus Marco Nikolic. Karol Etuma versus Eros Segeti. And Khalid Ali. Very nice young man he is. He spoke to us for the last time versus John Henry Muscala. Umar Khan. And he is... Oh, there's quite a lot going on. He's facing... Michael Valenzo. Listen, guys, over there at Queensbury, please find fighters, give them nicknames. It'd be far easier. And I haven't got my glasses on because I don't want to be able to see, and everyone can laugh at me. Billy Adams is also fighting Engel Gomez. Charlie Hickford, a great young fighter and prospect there. He's versing Yin Casido. Sam King versus Konstantin Uskanov. Tommy Fletcher versus Alvaro Terrero. And Alois Yumbi with a opponent yet to be arranged. So guys, if you have got a spare few hours, we got a fantastic weekend of boxing, Thursday night and Saturday night. Make sure, just like us, you have two screens. And once again, I'd like to thank my good pal Max for coming on the show tonight. Max, the Viking page, who's actually had a shave, girls and boys. Look at that. He's now looking less like
I've had it all trimmed up.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can't grow facial hair for shit.
Yeah, well, I shaved last night, you know what I mean? I don't know what happened.
So old Kong over there with his little hands and big power. Look at those clubs, mate. They're actually solid as a rock. But only got little fingers. That was quite funny.
Yeah, don't worry about that. When these come flying through the air and smash the face in.
Right, do you know what he said? He said aerodynamic.
Yeah. When they come flying out, don't worry about that.
Hospital and cemeteries, he calls them. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us on tonight's Boxing Banks. We will be back again Tuesday night at 9:30. And I'm going to make a special announcement on Tuesday, but I will not look like this. I will look absolutely shattered. I am going back boxing training with a good friend of mine. Have not pulled on the set of gloves for over 20 years. So if I do sport a black eye and a fat lip, you will know that I got punched up. Once again, guys, thanks very much for joining us.
That's not true. disrespected the old woman. She punched her up.
Yeah, right. Once again, guys, thanks very much for joining us on Boxing Bantz, and we will see you Tuesday night, 9:30 in the UK, and wherever you are around the world. So keep up. Once again, thanks very much. You keep lucky. Bosh. I don't give a shit about that. This proves it once again that you don't know shit. So listen. No, he didn't. I was nowhere near there. It was no. Ah, geez.